Well, good afternoon. I was thinking today, I was triggered to think about this. Yesterday, I was talking to a client of mine, and they were selling their home, and they were getting really emotional. Like they told me, "Oh, well, can we back out?" And what happens if we back out? And I'm thinking, well, why would you back out? And they said, we're just really attached to the home. It's just like a safety blanket, and it's, you know, this home is like it has special meaning, and it's kind of like a safety blanket to us, and we just feel like it's so special. And I'm like, oh, well, do you not want to sell it, or do you want to sell it? And they said, no, we really want to sell it, and we know we have to let go, but she kind of choked up, and I was like, man, okay, well, are you sure? And yes, we know we have to sell it. It's just hard for us. And I said, okay, no problem. And so, I stopped by and hung out for a little bit, and we were talking, and she was getting ready to get on the road. And I was like, are you okay? And, I gave her a hug, and she's like, yeah, I'm okay. And I started choking up and crying. And I was like, oh my gosh, so I think it's an interesting topic because, man, there are a lot of real estate is very emotional. I mean, of course, it's ideally controlled emotion, but if you're a buyer, your emotions are kind of raging, like, I want this home. Is the house going to be okay? I've got to spend this money. I've got to close. I've got to get my loan qualified. Oh, there's issues on the inspection report. What do I do? And, or is the seller going to cooperate? Are they going to deny our, offer? Are they going to deny our repair requests? There's just, bumps in the road come up with financing, and it's just, oh no, what if we don't get financed? And then, of course, and then with sellers, it's like, well, can I trust this buyer? Are they going to play games with me? I'm kind of anxious. I don't trust them, or maybe we trust them at first, but then they start doing stuff. And then you're like, start getting angry and bitter, and you start feeling like they're manipulating you, or vice versa. It can go either way, but it gets really stressful. It's like, okay, how do we work this out? And so, when you're selling a home, you could be emotionally attached to it. You could think it's worth more than it really is. And someone's not really, you're frustrated that people don't understand that. But, ideally you realize that maybe it's really worth what it is worth, and you can have peace about that. Sometimes, it's when you're selling your home, you just feel like you're the one doing everything. You have to pay the commission. You have to pay this. You have to do that. You have to fix everything. You feel like you're being rejected, like when your house is being seen and you're having showings and you haven't had offers, and oh, I don't like the floor plan, and oh, I like this one better, and oh, I want a newer one, or whatever it is. It's like, you shouldn't take it personally, but there's this like pang of, I'm feeling rejected. I don't like my house. What's wrong with it? I think it's great. We priced it good, and it kept it nice and for showing, and it's not selling. So you start feeling frustrated and like, why don't they like it? And so also with realtors, we have to try to keep our people happy and try to keep the peace with the other side. And it's stressful because then people turn on you sometimes. Sometimes your own people turn on you because they have no one else to turn on. They want to blame somebody. I remember I had a client one time say, I'm going to sue you. I'm going to sue the lender. And I'm like, well, I didn't pick the lender and I didn't do anything. So go ahead. And then he called me back. No, I love you. You're great. I'm sorry. I was just really mad. And I'm like, okay. And then I had another client. Our deal was so stressful. They got denied the loan, and we did everything the lender said. And we called the lender. We said, we gave you everything from day one. We did everything you said. How are we denied? And he miscalculated their debt to income ratio by like 2 points. Thank God we got another lender and were able to close. But the wife at the time was like, I want a divorce. I don't want the house. I'm done. I just don't want to deal with it anymore. And she's crying. And I'm like, okay, hold on. Let's not give up yet. And I'm like, oh my goodness, what are we going to do? And I'm like staying calm, for her sake, and just going, oh Lord. And I'm praying like crazy and going, Jesus, help me. So, it can be in a very emotional, I don't see that it's not ever really pretty emotional. You can get frustrated, you can get mad, you can get tired, you can feel rejected, you can feel scared, you can feel manipulated. And the question is how, the goal is keeping that finish line in front of you and going, okay, I know I'm really emotional. I know I'm really tired. I know I'm frustrated, but I'm going to finish this. Okay. And how do I finish it? And, as respectfully and as professionally and as I would want it done to me. And that's what I tell people. I said, what would you do, how would you want to be treated in this situation? Like when sellers are resisting doing repairs or working with the buyer, I said, well, if you were the buyer, how would you want to be treated? And with sellers, I said, would you want to be handed that door that's not closing well, or would you want to deal with those nasty carpets, or would you want peeling off paint? I mean, would you want that handed over to you, or would you expect the seller to sell it in at least a maintained condition? And then the sellers usually go, yeah, I wouldn't want to, if I were the buyer, I wouldn't want to do that. And oftentimes, I have to say to the buyer, look, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, if you were the seller, how would you feel if someone approached you like that? Would you respect them? Would you trust them? Would you want to work with them? And then they're like, oh, not really. So really understanding the emotional roller coasters and all the stuff that goes on emotionally. Granted, it's life in general, but in real estate, it's very emotional. So being aware of that ahead of time can help you, okay, remember to keep your cool, look to the finish line, be respectful, treat others the way you want to be treated, do for the seller or buyer that you want done for you, and one step at a time. Okay, well, there you go. Have a great day.